Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Let's have a look at some open position chords. Essentially, these are the first chords you will learn when starting guitar. You don't need a capo to play these. You don't really need to do any bar chords. Okay, so they're relatively easy. Today we're going to be playing in the key of C and in the key of G. So let's start with chord 1 in the key of C, which is a C major chord. Starts on the 5th string, which is the A string, 3rd fret, next string, 2nd fret, next string, open, next string, 1st fret, last string, open. Make sure your fingers are nice and arched and are not resting on any strings underneath it. Try to use your thumb to support your hand as much as you can. For any notes on the 1st fret, I recommend using your 1st finger. Any notes on the 2nd fret, I recommend using your 2nd finger. And on the 3rd fret, I recommend using your 3rd finger. That will get you through most of these chords with a nice easy finger placement. The next chord in the key of C is a D, and it's a D minor. First note is a D, 4th string, D string, open. Next string, 2nd fret. Next string, 3rd fret. Next string, 1st fret. D minor. Next chord in the key of C is an E minor. E string open, 2nd fret on the A string, 2nd fret on the D string, and then the following 3 strings are open. Alright, now we come to the F chord, which can be played a number of different ways. The first way you're normally taught this chord is starting on the 4th string, which is the D, on the 3rd fret, next string, which is the G string, on the 2nd fret, B string, 1st fret, E string, 1st fret. And you just play those 4 strings. If you look closely to my hands, this finger needs to cover 2 strings on the same fret, so I'm using the bottom fleshy part of my finger. The other strings, I'm going to try to use the tip of my finger and keep them arched up so they're not resting on any strings underneath. That can be a difficult chord. Don't give up on it. Just keep practicing it. Keep working on building up strength in your fingers and you will be able to get it. Another way to play this chord starts on the 5th string, which is the A, 3rd fret. I'm using my 3rd finger. My pinky is going to come down underneath that and then follow the same pattern as with the other chord. And that gives you 5 strings to work with. So you've still got that bar. Bit of a tricky shape, but that works for some people. And the last way to play this chord is a full bar chord, which uses an E major shape. Leave your 1st finger free, bring that shape up 1 whole fret. So 1st fret on the E, 3rd fret on the A, 3rd fret on the D, 2nd fret on the G, and then with your 1st finger, lay it down across the bottom 2 strings. Moving on from the F, we have a G or a G7. So the G chord is played like this. 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the E string, 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, open, 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 and then 3rd fret on the bottom E string. Now to play a G7, we're going to take this note, which is a G, and we need to play an F, which is on the 1st fret. So our fingering is going to change. Put our 1st finger there on the F, or on the 1st fret of the high E string, and then play those same 2 notes from the G. So we can play it like this: 3rd fret, 3rd finger, 2nd fret, 2nd finger, open, 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 and 1st fret on the 1st string. That's a G7. 2 more chords left: an A minor, 5th string open, 4th string 2nd fret, 3rd string, 2nd fret, 1st string, 1st fret, and then open on the 1st string. Starting with my 2nd finger, then 3rd, then 1st. And then our last chord is a B minor or a B minor half diminished, or a B minor 7 flat 5. Let's start with a B minor, 2nd fret on the A string. We're going to mute the D string with our 1st finger. Just place it gently on the string underneath it. 2nd fret on the G string, and then 3rd fret on the B string. And don't play any other string. That's one way to play a B minor. Now for the proper full chord in the key of C, you need all 4 fingers, and it's a little bit of a pattern. You go 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. And don't play any open strings. And that leads us back to C. So I encourage you to practice those chords in that order so you get the sound of them moving up the scale. Alright, now we're going to learn the open position chords in the key of G. If we have played one of the chords in the key of C, I'm not going to explain it again, we'll just move on to the next chord. So our first chord is a G. Then we have an A minor. Now we have a B minor. Now I will show you another way to play that with the bar chord. 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, 3rd finger on the 4th fret of the D string, 4th finger on the 4th fret of the G string, 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the B string, and then lay your 1st finger down to bar the 2nd fret of the 1st string. After B minor, we have a C major, then we have a D major or a D7. So the D major is open on the 4th string, 2nd fret on the 3rd, 3rd fret on the 2nd, 2nd fret on the 1st string. Starting with your 1st finger, then your 3rd, then your 2nd. And a D7 is like this. We're taking this note and bringing it back here. 2nd fret, 1st fret, 2nd fret. D7. After D is an E minor. So the next chord is an F sharp minor 7 or an F sharp minor 7 flat 5, which can also be called F sharp half diminished. So the only difference between the minor 7 and the minor 7 flat 5 is one note, this one. And then you're back to your G chord.